Right now, somewhere out there, someone far less intelligent, far less capable, far less prepared than you is winning. They walk into rooms like they belong there, speak as if their words are law, and act as if the world owes them obedience, and strangely, it does, because the world doesn't reward the best. It rewards the bold. It rewards those who look sure of themselves, even when they aren't. Meanwhile, you hesitate. You overthink. You wait for clarity, for the right feeling, for the perfect timing that never comes. You tell yourself you're being cautious, rational, patient. But in reality, you're training yourself to miss opportunities. Every hesitation becomes a small act of self-betrayal. And as you pause to think, someone else less talented, less prepared moves and wins. Confidence is not a personality trait. It's a weapon forged in action. If you don't carry it, someone else will use it against you. This isn't another talk about motivation or positive thinking. This is about power, psychological, social, emotional control. It's about removing hesitation, speaking with gravity, and moving like a man who expects obedience. From this moment on, weakness is no longer acceptable. You will not beg to be understood. You will not wait for permission. The time for softness is over. This is not about becoming louder. It's about becoming inevitable. The servant within. You weren't born weak. You were made that way. Slowly, repetitively, through school, family, society, all conditioning you to obey, to follow, to please, to wait for validation before you act. That voice in your head that doubts every move, the one that asks, "Is this okay? Will they like me?" That isn't your true voice. That's the echo of training. The inner servant, obedient, polite, apologetic, built by repetition. And every time you listen to him, you kneel a little lower. Friedrich Nietzsche wrote, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how. But if you don't claim your own why, you'll spend your life serving someone else's." Every decision becomes a defense. Every action, a plea for approval. You have to kill that voice. Not silence it temporarily, kill it completely. When the servant whispers, shrink, expand. When he says, explain, stop. When he pleads, apologize, stare. Because true confidence isn't about feeling ready. It's about acting while terrified and doing it anyway. Every moment you disobey that inner servant, a piece of the old programming dies, and something else begins to take its place: authority, presence, certainty. Projecting power. Power doesn't belong to the most moral or the most talented. It belongs to those who project certainty, walk faster than comfort allows, take up more space than you think you deserve, speak slower than those who rush to impress. People read confidence through contrast. Seneca said, "He who is brave is free." Bravery isn't the absence of fear, it's mastery over reaction. When you act decisively, even imperfectly, your body learns courage through motion. Posture becomes language. Silence becomes influence. Your voice is your weapon. Lower your tone. Remove filler words. Never end a sentence like a question, unless it truly is one. Speak with pauses heavy enough to make people hold their breath. When you stop, let the silence work for you. Most people fear silence, they fill it. You command it. Jordan Peterson reminds us that dominance isn't expressed through aggression, but through calm control. Speak as if time bends around your pace. The slower you go, the more others adapt to you. Epictetus said, "Silence is the shadow of much wisdom. When you speak, make every word sound final, because finality, not volume, is what signals power." Decisiveness, not debate. Confidence isn't I, might be right. It's I decide what's right for me. You don't debate your existence. You declare it. When others rush to prove themselves, you observe. Let them reveal their desires, their fears, their insecurities. The one who speaks first loses power because he exposes his needs. The one who waits controls the rhythm. Machiavelli said, "He who wishes to be obeyed must know how to command." Command isn't volume, it's direction. It's the quiet conviction that what you say doesn't require validation. If challenged, don't argue, don't explain. Say, "I disagree," or better, "That's incorrect." Then move on. Never defend yourself to someone beneath your mission. Every defense feeds doubt. People respect boundaries spoken calmly more than arguments screamed loudly. Your refusal to justify yourself is the most intimidating form of certainty. The fortress mindset. Most men build muscle, but not mind. They master posture, but not composure. Their emotions belong to everyone who can trigger them. Viktor Frankl wrote, "Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space lies our power to choose. That space is the throne room of psychological control. You either guard it or you give it away." When insulted, don't react. Observe. Ask, what are they trying to make me feel? When praised, don't soften. Ask, why now? When ignored, don't panic, get colder. A fortress doesn't shout from its walls. It stands silent, unbothered, impossible to move. Emotional control isn't suppression, it's selection. Feel everything, act on almost nothing. You stop being manipulated the day your emotions stop being public property. Calmness becomes your armor, restraint your sword. Rejection is strategy. Rejection is not a wound, it's information. It tells you who overestimated their value and who underestimated yours. You weren't rejected, you were redirected. When a door closes, vanish. Withdraw your presence like oxygen from a flame. People don't realize your value until they choke on the absence of it. Seneca said, "Sometimes even to live is an act of courage." Walking away in silence is courage disguised as indifference. Don't chase approval, become the standard they measure others by. The strong never beg for entry. They make the room colder when they leave. Your silence will echo louder than any argument. In time, they'll remember how your absence felt heavier than your presence. Identity over mindset. Confidence isn't a mood, it's an identity. It's who you are when no one's watching. You don't switch it on. You embody it. You don't compete. You select yourself. You don't seek recognition. You assume relevance. Aristotle called this ethos the persuasive power of character. Before you speak, your posture, your stillness, your focus already communicate everything about you. Walk into rooms like you've always belonged. Don't wait for permission to exist. Your silence can be a crown if you wear it with composure. You stop trying to impress and start radiating inevitability. Presence becomes gravity. People orbit you without realizing why. The final transformation. The rules are simple. kill what makes you small. Speak with finality. Control your emotion. Treat rejection as redirection. Forge identity from defiance. Stop waiting to feel ready, act now. Readiness is an illusion created by fear. Action creates readiness. Power doesn't belong to the perfect. It belongs to the bold. The world doesn't respond to need. It responds to certainty. Move slower. Speak fewer words. Carry silence like a blade. You're not here to convince anyone. You're here to alter the temperature of every room you enter. Become unreachable, emotionally untouchable, psychologically uncheckable. When you stop reacting, they can only adapt to you. That's when you become unforgettable, not because you shouted the loudest, but because your stillness demanded attention. Pause. Closing command. You're no longer the man who asks. You're the man who decides. Like this video if you're done chasing. Subscribe if you're ready to become the kind of man they can never control, never predict, and never forget. Because this isn't self-help. This is psychological war. And today, you became a weapon.